Good afternoon. This is All India Radio and I'm Tanvi Taneja with the Midday News. The headlines. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal presents the interim budget for 2019-20 in Lok Sabha, announces many measures to support farmers, unorganized sectors and the middle class. Yearly direct support of 6,000 rupees to farmers through PM-KISAN Yojna. Full tax rebate up to income of 5 lakh rupees for individual taxpayers. Standard deduction raised to 50,000 from the earlier 40,000 rupees for the salaried class. Direct tax system simplified. Returns to be processed in 24 hours with immediate refunds. 3,000 rupees monthly pension for unorganized sector workers earning up to 15,000 rupees through a mega pension scheme, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan. Allocations to healthcare, MGNREGA, SC/ST welfare programs, Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana, development of infrastructure in Northeast hiked substantially. Allocations to defence budget crosses 3 lakh crore rupees for the first time. Electricity connection to all willing families by next month. 1 lakh more villages to get digital connectivity. A national centre on artificial intelligence. 10-point vision for 2030 to realise India's socio-economic potential. $10 trillion economy in the next 13 years. Single window clearance for shooting films to be made available to Indian filmmakers. And fiscal deficit pegged at 3.4% of the GDP. Presenting the interim budget for 2019-20 in the Lok Sabha today, Finance Minister Piyush Goyal announced a number of measures to support farmers, unorganized sector workers and small and medium enterprises. The most important announcement was the direct income support of 6,000 rupees per year for the families of vulnerable farmers having up to 2 hectares of land. Describing the program, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi PM-KISAN as historic, he said the income support will be directly transferred into the bank accounts of beneficiary farmers in 3 equal installments of 2,000 rupees each. The program is to be funded by the centre and will come into effect with retrospective date of December 1st, 2018.
To provide an assured income support to the small and marginal farmers, प्रधान मंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि पीएम किसान नाम की एक ऐतिहासिक योजना इस सरकार ने मंजूरी की है. This income support will be transferred directly into the bank accounts of beneficiary farmers in 3 equal installments of ₹2,000 each. This program will be funded 100% by the government of India. प्रोग्राम 1 दिसंबर 2018 से ही लागू किया जाएगा और पहली किस्त 2,000 रुपए की जल्द ही सूचियां बना के उनके खाते में भेजी जाएगी.
The Finance Minister said that this would not only provide supplementary income to the most vulnerable farmers' families, but also meet their emergent needs, especially before the harvest season. Mr. Goyal also announced setting up of Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog to upscale sustainable genetic upgradation of cow resources and productivity of cows.
The setting up of Rashtriya Kamdhenu Ayog to upscale sustainable genetic upgradation of cow resources and to enhance production and productivity of cows. गौ माता के सम्मान में और गौ माता के लिए इस सरकार कभी पीछे नहीं हटेगी.
To provide focused attention on fish production, a separate department of fisheries will be created. India being the second largest fish producing nation, it will help the livelihood of over 1.45 crore people. The budget also proposes to provide benefit of 2% interest subvention to the farmers involved in animal husbandry and fisheries and also to those having loan through Kisan cards. The farmers affected in natural calamities will get the benefit of interest subvention of 2% and prompt repayment incentives of 3% for their loans. The budget made an important announcement of pension for the workers in the unorganized sector. Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan program will provide 3,000 rupees monthly pension for unorganized sector workers after they attain 60 years of age. The Finance Minister said a sum of 500 crore rupees has been allocated for the scheme and additional funds will be provided when needed.
A mega pension Yojna, namely Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan, will be for the organized sector workers with monthly income up to rupees 15,000. This pension Yojna shall provide them an assured monthly pension of rupees 3,000 after they achieve the age of 60 years. On a monthly contribution, personal affordable amount during their working age. Unorganized sector worker joining the pension Yojna at the age of 29 years will only have to contribute 100 rupees per month till he attains the age of 60 years. A worker joining the pension Yojna at 18 years of age will only have to contribute 55 rupees per month. The government will contribute equal matching share in the pension account of the worker every month.
The Finance Minister proposed that the individual taxpayers having an income up to 5 lakh rupees will get full tax rebate. Therefore, they will not be required to pay any income tax.
For the present, the existing rates of income tax will continue for FY 19-20 also. I propose the following changes. Individual taxpayers having taxable annual income up to rupees 5 lakhs will get full tax rebate.
Mr. Goyal said, even persons having a gross income up to 6.5 lakh rupees may not be required to pay any income tax if they make investments in provident funds, specified savings and insurance. He said, with additional deductions like interest on home loan up to 2 lakh rupees, and interest on educational loan and national pension scheme contribution, medical insurance, medical expenditure of senior citizen, even persons having higher income will not have to pay any tax. This will benefit over 3 crore middle-class taxpayers comprising self-employed, small business, small traders, salary earners, pensioners and the senior citizens. The budget also hiked standard deduction for the salaried people from the present 40,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees. This will give tax benefit of 4,700 crore rupees to more than 3 crore salaried employees and the pensioners. Considering the difficulties of the middle class, the budget proposes to exempt levy on income tax on notional rent on a second self-occupied house. TDS threshold on interest earned on bank and post office deposits is being raised from 10,000 rupees to 40,000 rupees to benefit small depositors and non-working depositors. TDS threshold for deduction of tax on rent is proposed to be increased from 1,80,000 to 2,40,000. The benefits of rollover of capital gains under Section 54 of the Income Tax Act will be increased from investment in one residential house to 2 residential houses for a taxpayer having capital gains up to 2 crore rupees. This benefit can be availed once in a lifetime. The budget also proposes to reduce GST burden on home buyers and proposes setting up of a group of ministers to examine and make recommendations early. The budget proposed a substantial hike in the allocations to healthcare, MGNREGA, welfare programs of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, Mantri Sadak Yojana, women's development, empowerment of youth and development of infrastructure in the Northeast. The allocation for the Northeast areas is to be hiked by 21% to 58,000 crore rupees. The government will also make 1 lakh villages into digital villages over the next 5 years. In the last 5 years, nearly 34 crore Jan Dhan bank accounts were opened. To take the benefits of artificial intelligence and related technologies to the people, a national program on artificial intelligence has been planned by the government. The budget allocation for defence crossed 3 lakh crore rupees for the first time for securing the borders and maintaining preparedness of the highest order. It also proposed to introduce container cargo movement to the northeast by improving navigation capacity of the Brahmaputra river.
इस वर्ष पहली बार हमारा डिफेंस बजट 3 लाख करोड़ से बढ़ के 2019-20 में प्रावधान किया गया फॉर सिक्योरिंग आवर बॉर्डर्स एंड टू मेंटेन प्रिपेयर्डनेस of the highest order. If necessary, additional funds will also be provided.
The Indian Railways have removed all unmanned level crossings on broad gauge network to step up safety. Mr. Goyal, who also looks after the Railway Ministry, said the introduction of the first indigenously developed and manufactured semi-high-speed Vande Bharat Express will give Indian passengers world-class experience with speed, service and safety. The Railway Minister also unveiled a 10-point vision of the government for the next decade to realize the country's socio-economic potential. The vision for India 2030 comprises making India a $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years and $10 trillion economy in the next 8 years thereafter. Creating a digital India that reaches every sector of the economy, every corner of the country and impacts the life of all Indians. Making India a pollution-free nation, an India that drives on electric vehicles with renewables becoming a major source of energy supply. Clean rivers with safe drinking water for everyone, sustaining and nourishing life and efficient use of water in irrigation using micro-irrigation techniques. Transforming India into a minimum government, maximum governance nation. India of 2030 to have a proactive and responsible bureaucracy which will be viewed as friendly to people. The budget pegged the fiscal deficit at 3.4% of the GDP. Several union ministers have lauded the union budget, terming it as progressive, visionary and dynamic. Talking to reporters outside Parliament, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the budget has taken care of every section of the society.
आजाद भारत के इतिहास में शायद इस प्रकार का इंटरीम बजट है। ये तो मैंने बजट भी ऐसा कभी नहीं पेश किया गया और समाज के सभी वर्गों को इसके कारण लाभ मिला है।
Another Union Minister, Suresh Prabhu, described the budget as comprehensive and holistic. Union Minister Arun Jaitley today said the interim budget marks a high point in the policy directions that the government headed by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given to the nation. He said the budget is unquestionably pro-growth, fiscally prudent, pro-farmer, pro-poor and strengthens the purchasing power of middle class. The opposition has termed the union budget as an election budget of the BJP. Talking to media outside Parliament, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge described the budget as a poor one and said people will not be benefited out of it. At the stock markets, the Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange surged 322 points or 0.9% to trade at 36,579 in the afternoon session a short while ago on the day of presentation of the interim union budget. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange climbed 95 points or 0.9% to 10,926. And at the Forex market, the rupee appreciated 3 paise to trade at 71.1 against the dollar in intraday deals. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Finance Minister Piyush Goyal presents the interim budget for 2019-20 in Lok Sabha, announces many measures to support farmers, unorganized sectors and the middle class. Yearly direct support of 6,000 rupees to farmers through PM-KISAN Yojna. Full tax rebate up to income of 5 lakh rupees for individual taxpayers. Standard deduction raised to 50,000 from the earlier 40,000 rupees for the salaried class. Direct tax system simplified, returns to be processed in 24 hours with immediate refunds. 3,000 rupees monthly pension for unorganized sector workers, earning up to 15,000 rupees through a mega pension scheme, Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Maandhan. Allocations to healthcare, MGNREGA, SC/ST welfare programs, Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojna, development of infrastructure in the northeast hiked substantially. Allocations to defence budget crosses 3 lakh crore rupees for the first time. Electricity connection to all willing families by next month. 1 lakh more villages to get digital connectivity. A national centre on artificial intelligence. 10-point vision for 2030 to realize India's socio-economic potential. $10 trillion economy in the next 13 years. Single window clearance for shooting films to be made available to Indian filmmakers. And fiscal deficit pegged at 3.4% of the GDP. And for the details of these stories on the interim budget 2019-20 and the discussions will continue on our channel. Stay tuned in. And with that, we end the midday news.